Assalamualaikum, salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight with me, SAHIH. Our headlines this evening. LCS procurement to continue with signing supplementary contract. Ringgit currency will return to stable. The procurement of the second-generation patrol vessel SGPV Littoral Combat Ship LCS for the Royal Malaysian Navy TLDM will be continued. Defence Minister Datuk Seri Mohammad Hassan said it would be done through a 6th supplementary contract with posted Naval Shipyard Sendirian Berhad. The deal, he said, is meant to provide full focus on ensuring that the LCS project can be completed according to schedule.
Perolehan ini adalah amat penting bagi TLDM bagi meningkatkan keupayaan armada selaras dengan plan transformasi 15-5 TLDM bagi memelihara kedaulatan perairan negara. Pelaksanaan projek SAS ini akan dipantau oleh projek monitoring team iaitu PMC yang dipengerusikan bersama oleh Ketua Setiausaha Perbendaharaan dan Ketua Setiausaha Kementerian Pertahanan. Di samping itu, laporan berkala kepada Jemaah Menteri akan disediakan.
He said this in a media conference after witnessing the LCS supplementary contract signing ceremony in Langkawi. The LCS is expected to be completed in 2024 and fully operational by 2026 after test and evaluation. There was great excitement in the air as the Langkawi International Maritime and Aerospace Exhibition Lima 23 was made open to public starting today. After a 4-year hiatus, the exhibition attracted many visitors to its ground as early as 8 a.m. Lima 23, which was open to trade visitors since Tuesday, had concluded yesterday and is now open to the public for 2 days until tomorrow. Booths and pavilions of various security and commercial asset agencies, both local and international, have been set up. Over at the runway tarmac, numerous aircraft are on display. The highlight of the exhibition is certainly the fighter jet aerobatics, which begins at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. South Korea's Black Eagles began the 1-hour aerobatic performance, followed by Indonesia's Jupiter, Su-300 MKM Flanker, Russian Knight, and FA-18D Hornets. Meanwhile, the maritime segment has been made open to the public since the first day at Resorts World Langkawi. The Lima 23 exhibition this time around is aiming for at least 250,000 visitors. On another development, the value of ringgit is expected to stabilize to a reasonable level. Datuk Seri Ahmad is positive that the ringgit strength decline against the US dollar is only temporary. He said this was because the United States government still has yet to come to a decision regarding their debt ceiling impasse.
Kita harap ia boleh diselesaikan dalam masa yang pantas dan apabila perkara ini selesai, saya harap dia akan kembali kepada kadar yang lebih menasabah.
The Finance Ministry is also confident that Bank Negara Malaysia has a solution even if the United States still does not finalise their debt ceiling. Datuk Seri Ahmad Said said that, on the flip side, a weak ringgit could help promote the country's export and tourism sectors. On whether the situation would impact the overnight policy rate, OPR, he said it is up to Bank Negara to resolve the matter. The distribution of subsidies to the rakyat must be done in a fair and just manner. As such, Deputy Finance Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Maslan said the policy on targeted subsidy distribution must be amended so that the poor can benefit better from the aid given by the government.
Tapi Malaysia ini sebuah negara yang tersilap memberikan subsidi. Orang kaya dapat lebih banyak daripada orang miskin. Jadi kita ingin membetulkan kesilapan itu. Semua orang akan bersetuju bahawa orang miskin perlu diberi lebih banyak subsidi daripada orang kaya.
He said the unity government will give more focus in subsidies and other aid to the poor community. On the other hand, the people in the T20 group will only be involved in certain tax exemptions, among other revisions that will be done towards existing subsidies and policies. Datuk Sri Ahmad Said said this at the launching ceremony of the Sustainable Investment Standards SIS documents. Coming up next, Malaysia to launch new renewable energy market exchange. Malaysia is set to launch a renewable energy market exchange at the regional level in a few months' time. This would facilitate international trade efforts, according to Economic Minister Rafizi Ramli. In an interview by Bloomberg at the Qatar Economy Forum, Rafizi said Malaysia is a country with strategic value and has high potential in renewable energy market sector.
We have this unique situation where Malaysia is geographically very central to the whole region, and you have the mainland in the north with a lot of RE potentials, but there's a lot of demand as well in terms of RE in Malaysia, in Singapore, and Malaysia is well positioned to connect the whole region.
Rafizi said accelerating the transition to renewable energy is in line with the requirements of the global economy and would also ensure the country's future energy supply position. Malaysia is also expected to launch a new industrial master plan in August. The Economy Ministry will launch the National Energy Transition Roadmap by 30th June this year, at the latest in a bid to speed up projects involving transition to renewable energy as well as restructure the economy. A mini market owner was detained after he was caught hoarding 1,557 kilograms of subsidized cooking oil worth 3,892 ringgit and 50 cents in a raid on a terrace house in Taman Sri Tambun Simpang Ampat near Bukit Mertajam yesterday. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry KPDN Pulau Pinang Branch Director S. Jagan said the house believed to be used as a store was raided at 1:50 p.m. following a tip-off and intelligence gathering over the past few days. He said when the raid was conducted, no one was in, and on further inspection, the control item, which were in 1 kilo packages, were found in the living room. The mini market owner, a man in his 50s, was arrested at the business premises, which is located about 500 meters from the house.
Lesen ini dikeluarkan ikut alamat itulah. So maksudnya kalau dia boleh simpan hanya di kedai. So bila pegawai KPDM melakukan siasatan di kedai runcit, dia tak ada langsung minyak masak ni. Dia letak tiada stok. Bila kita hantar pegawai kita berpakaian reman, pergi cek lah kan buat macam nak beli minyak, tak ada minyak. So, maksudnya dia menyorok minyak ni di rumah dia lah, satu kawasan premis yang memang tak dibenarkan.
He said this in a press conference today. He added investigation on the source of the subsidized cooking oil supply were underway, including where they were sold. The prosecution has requested that all 7 cases of abuse of power to receive bribes and money laundering faced by former Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin be tried together in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court. Deputy Public Prosecutor Datuk Wan Charudin Wan Ladin told Judge Azura Alwi that the prosecution filed the application yesterday and has handed over a copy of the application to the defence teams today. Lawyer Dato' Hisham Teh Potik, representing Tan Sri Muhyiddin, confirmed that they had received the document, but the defence would require time to file an affidavit in reply. Azura then ordered the defence to respond to the application by 30th June, while the prosecution had to file an affidavit by 14 July. Earlier, DPP Ahmad Akram Garib Said Tan Sri Muhyiddin had been charged with receiving proceeds from illegal activities in the Shah Alam Court, and the case has been transferred to the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court. He also applied for the charge to be read again before Azura, to which Tan Sri Muhyiddin entered a plea of not guilty. The court fixed 4 August as the next mentioned date. Two men are facing a possible sentence of death by hanging for charges of dealing heroin-type drugs weighing at 21.06 kilogram last week. The two accused are Pirapagaran and S. Ganesan, who is an amputee, both aged 39, nodded their heads after the charges were read out to them at the Ipoh Magistrates Court. However, no plea was recorded from either of them. The two men were alleged to be a drug syndicate leader and a henchman in a drug distribution syndicate. The charge framed under Section 39B, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952 is punishable under Section 39, Subsection B, Subsection 2 of the same Act. It carries the death sentence or life imprisonment with a minimum of 15 lashes upon conviction. Deputy Public Prosecutor Nur Shahira Azahar appeared for the prosecution while Ganesan was represented by Dayang Nur Emilia Azman Shah and R. Pirapagaran was unrepresented. Magistrate Jessica Daime set 26 July for re-mention pending submission of the chemical report. The written reply presented in the Dewan Rakyat regarding the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC inquiry into allegations that a party in Perikatan Nasional Coalition received donations from gambling funds during the last general election campaign did not say that the investigation had been closed or discontinued. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Dato Sri Azlina Othman said MACC had only stated that no investigation file had been opened as the information received so far was general. In this regard, she said that MACC, as an independent and impartial authority, has the right to conduct appropriate investigations according to the MACC Act 2009, Act 694 or other applicable laws based on information and evidence received. Dato Sri Azlina called on all parties to respect the rule of law and not jump to conclusions from the replies in the Dewan Rakyat. Still ahead, South Korean plane lands safely after door opens during flight.
Kecemasan, boleh saya bantu?
Hello, there's been a motorcycle accident here. Maybe an elephant ran it over.
Sir, there is fire accident at the address number 5 Jalan Tembika Shah Alam.
PGO from FRT Shah Alam, there was no fire accident here. Over.
MERS 999. Use it wisely.
Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah will undertake special visits to Monaco and Jordan starting today until 2nd June. Controller of the Royal Household of Istana Negara, Major General Dato' Zahari Muhammad Arifin said that the special visit to Monaco for 4 days until 29th May was at the invitation of the Prince of Monaco, Prince Albert II. In a release statement, Al-Sultan Abdullah is scheduled to have an audience with Prince Albert II at the Palace of Monaco tomorrow, followed by departure to the Monaco Formula One main circuit in the afternoon. For the special visit to Jordan, Al-Sultan Abdullah is expected to arrive at the Queen Alia International Airport, Amman, on 30th May. The visit is at the invitation of Jordan's King Abdullah II, and the two leaders are scheduled to meet on 31st May. Al-Sultan Abdullah is expected to depart for Malaysia on 2nd June. An Asiana Airlines plane has landed safely in South Korea after a passenger opened its door mid-flight on Friday. Video footage filmed by a person on the flight and obtained by Yonhap News Television showed wind rushing in from the open door. A company spokesperson said all passengers were seated with the seat belts fastened as the plane was about to land. The plane was 2 or 3 minutes from landing when a male passenger sitting next to an emergency door opened a cover and pulled a lever, such that the door opened about 200 meters above the ground. The Airbus A321-200 was carrying nearly 200 passengers as it approached the runway at Daegu International Airport, about 240 kilometers southeast of Seoul, on a domestic flight. A Daegu Fire Department official said no one was hurt in the incident, but 9 people were transferred to a nearby hospital after suffering breathing issues. Authorities have detained a passenger, according to the country's transportation ministry. Spanish Coast Guard vessel on Thursday transported a group of 42 migrants who were stranded off the Canary Islands to the port of Arguineguin in the islands of Gran Canaria. The group, which included 32 men, 9 women and 1 minor, was located by a Spanish Coast Guard helicopter in the Atlantic Ocean. The rescued migrants received medical attention from Red Cross One disembarking at the dock. Every year, thousands of people leave North Africa to make the perilous journey to Europe in search for a better life. A total of 3,495 migrants had crossed by boat to the Canary Islands by 15 May. Spanish Interior Ministry data showed 54.1% less than the same period in 2022. Since the beginning of 2023, according to figures from the Spanish Interior Ministry, the numbers of crossings from Africa to Canary Islands had reduced by 44% compared to the same period in 2022. Last year, 15,682 migrants arrived in the Canary Islands, 29.7% fewer than in 2021. Torrential rains on Friday following a prolonged drought caused streets to turn into fast-flowing rivers in towns along Spain's Mediterranean coast. Fire services in Castellón said the worst affected areas were the towns of Benicassim, Oropesa del Mar and Cabanes. They say they had carried out 3 rescues and provided pumping services on 27 occasions. Footage showed traffic and emergency response vehicles driving through inundated streets in the Valencian towns of Benicassim and Oropesa del Mar. The state weather agency warned of accumulated rain of 12 centimeters over 12 hours on Friday in the province of Castellón in the Valencia region. It added, while the rains have caused chaos and economic damage, they have also been welcomed by many in Spain, which had been on track to register the driest spring since record began in 1961. Heavy rainfall also hit central Spain and in and around the capital Madrid. Earlier in the week, Spanish authorities shut down schools, universities and daycare centres as a precaution after rains left behind flooded basement and submerged cars. Coming up in sports, Tina staged amazing fight back to reach semi-finals. Stay with us. Top national women's double pair Tan and Tina staged a remarkable fight back to stun 4th-seed Yuki Fukushima Sayaka Hirota 13-21, 19-21, 19-21, 16 and check into the semi-finals of the Malaysia Masters 2023 today. The 6-seeded Tina got off to a rocky start at the Axiata Arena with several errors at the net, proving costly as they lost the first game of their quarter-final match 13-21. Things look gloomy for the national camp when world number 11 Tina found themselves trailing again in the second game, levelling at 16-all before stepping on the gas to win it 21-9 and force a decider. The Malaysians eventually sealed a 21-16 win to book a spot in the last 4 after a grueling battle that lasted nearly 2 hours. Tina will face Jong Na Iu Kim Hei Jong in the semi-final after the 5th-seeded South Koreans upset Indonesian 2nd seed Apriani Rahayu Siti Fadia Silva Ramadanti in the last 8. Lewis Hamilton on Thursday denied all reports that he has been approached by Ferrari and said he was set to renew with Mercedes in the coming weeks. The 7-time world champion's current contract expires this year. He has been in discussions with Mercedes boss Toto Wolff for several months, but recently passed the task of completing what may be his final contract in Formula One to his personal management team.
Yeah, I think naturally with when you're in contract negotiations, there's always going to be speculation, and I think ultimately that's unless you hear from me, then that's what it is.
He added when asked that he hoped the contract would be completed hopefully in the coming weeks. Hamilton's denial of any approach from Ferrari followed an earlier rejection of the speculation by Ferrari team chief Fred Vasseur. He also said that despite a long rain drought since the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, he remained keen to stay with Mercedes. Tennis world number one Carlos Alcaraz faces a tough path to a maiden French Open title after being placed in the same half of the draw as 22 times Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic on Thursday. After playing with children in Paris, he humbly told the press he would try his best, responding to critics' claims of him being amongst the favourites to win. The 20-year-old Spaniard said all he was going to focus on during the game was to perform at his best.
I don't think that I'm the favorite here. I'm on the list to being one of the favorites, but there are a lot of players can win this tournament as well that are playing unbelievable, and I will try to show my best.
Alcaraz was met on Thursday at the promotional event ahead of the tournament. In the absence of 14-time and defending champion Rafael Nadal, who will miss the clay court tournament through injury, all eyes are on Djokovic and Alcaraz. World number 2 Daniil Medvedev, who plays a qualifier in the first round, is in the lower part of the draw and could face either last year's runner-up Casper Ruud or Norway's Holger Rune. Casper Ruud's run at a third straight Geneva Open title ended in a 3-6, 7-6, 7-5 loss to Nicolas Jarry in the quarterfinals on Thursday. The top-seeded Ruud had his serve broken at 5-all in the third set after the 54th-ranked Chilean fired two powerful forehand winners. Jarry's serve held up after wasting an earlier break that forced a 4-3 lead and took his second match point chance with an overhead smash winner. Ruud now heads early to the French Open, where he is seeded fourth when play starts Sunday. Jarry, meanwhile, earned a rematch in the semi-finals on Friday of the 2019 final at Geneva, where he lost to Alexander Zverev. Zverev had an easy passage through his quarter-finals match. The third-seeded German led 4-1 in the first set when 59th-ranked Wu Yibing of China retired with an injury. Second-seeded Taylor Fritz and fourth-seeded Grigor Dimitrov will meet in the other semi-final. Dimitrov was in action for almost 2 hours more to rally past Christopher O'Connell in a 6-7, 7-5, 6-4 win. Fritz had earlier brushed aside Ilya Ivashka 6-1, 6-2 in just 51 minutes in the opening match on court.
Pertama, memang dirujuk kepada kebahdulian Yang Maha Mulia yang di-Pertuan Agong. Dan Yang-Pertuan Agong memberi pandangan supaya semua keputusan harus terikat dengan keputusan Majlis Raja-Raja Melayu. Iaitu Allah tidak boleh digunakan di Semenanjung dan kelonggaran diberi di Sabah dan Sarawak. Jadi tidak timbul sama sekali soal tidak dirujuk. Pendirian kerajaan hari ini dalam keputusan Jemaah Menteri memperaku keputusan yang dibuat oleh Majlis Raja-Raja Melayu. Satu, nama Allah tidak boleh digunakan di Semenanjung Tanah Melayu. Kedua, kelonggaran diberikan dengan syarat-syarat untuk Sabah dan Sarawak. Dan inilah yang keputusan dibuat yang menyebabkan tidak ada rayuan dalam kes pentadbiran, iaitu dalam keputusan hakim ini keputusan pentadbiran dan bukan keputusan theological.
That's it from us this evening. In our top story, ringgit currency will return to stable. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow. I'm SAHIH. Thanks for watching.